So hi everybody, so this is the next vlog video. Now, for this video, I'm just gonna answer some of the questions that people ask me in the meantime. So I asked some of my friends to ask me some questions and stuff, so that's where they mostly come from. Very itchy nose. Okay, so first question, it's from Michael. How do they get the figs in the fig rolls? Okay, so how you get a fig in a fig roll? I assume he is asking for the real reason and not the kind of funny one that everyone says. So the real way you get in is, right, you get your figs and you blend them up in, you cook them first. So you put like lemon zest and the fig, and then you cook them on the pan, and then they get soft, and then you can blend them in your blender, and then they become like this paste stuff, and then you can pipe that in with like an icing bag into the fig roll. And then you just roll it up. It's kind of like you're making a sausage roll or with it. But yeah, that's how you do that. And then you just cook your biscuit and stuff. So that's how they put the figs in the fig rolls. So I'll leave a link of a video on how to actually do it if I can find one, and in the description. Okay. Now, do lions live in jungles? So right. So anymore in the world, lions most definitely do not live in jungles. They live in grasslands and woodlands mostly. The Kaffa rainforest in Ethiopia did have Ethiopian lions for a very, very long time, but they're all now in like protected areas. So they're in zoos and in like enclosed spaces so they're protected. They're the ones with the really, really dark manes, like black colors and stuff. There is also Asiatic and Indian lions, which live in they used to live in forests in India, but they are also becoming very endangered now. So they're protected as well, and they're actually some of the smallest of the lion family, the Asiatic ones. And then so for big cats that live in jungles, pretty much all the other big cats tend to live in jungles, such as leopards, tigers. Tigers are the biggest of the large cats. They're even bigger than lions by a small amount. So they're probably the kings of the jungle, and that's like what I guess this question comes from. But anyways, so yeah, they're not really in jungles anymore. They're mostly in grasslands and woodlands. All right, what's Michael's? Michael's next question is: if a tree falls in the woods and nobody hears it, are Britain still fucked? Okay, so, right, sorry for the curse word, but anyways, Britain. Okay, Britain had this thing called Brexit, which is where they voted in a referendum to leave the EU. Now, it got through, and there is a lot of worry in the EU for the other EU countries and also for Britain as to what this is going to mean for the state of Europe and Britain. There's kind of a lot of things that are happening. So currently in Britain, what happened was the majority votes were like in England voted to leave, but places like Scotland and Northern Ireland voted to stay. So there may be more referendums in order for them to leave Britain. I'm not really sure if it's going to happen, but it seems like Scotland and Northern Ireland are going to try and push for either some agreement with Britain or some agreement with the EU, or else they'll just leave Britain and try and stay in the EU. And then other things that happened is it caused a really big crash in the markets, which was obviously going to happen. But it didn't just crash for Britain markets, it also crashed for European markets, because the fact Britain left the EU, since they're quite a big trading body in the EU, a lot of the markets crashed in other countries like Germany, France, Italy, any other big countries pretty much. What else happened? Their prime minister has pretty much resigned. And I don't know. They're gonna have to come up with a new government that's probably pro towards their leave, and I'd say that will happen pretty fast because they. The issue is the longer this goes on, the bigger the problem is going to be for the markets. If it's sorted too slowly, like say they're on about stretching out for 2 years for the sorting out the issues of leaving the EU and all that kind of stuff. The political side should be sorted as fast as possible so people can expect what's coming. Like even if they don't implement the plans for 2 years, but I think they should try and get some concrete political plans out, as in, is there going to be referendums, is there going to be elections and things, and what are the terms of leaving the EU, what's still the same, so the other EU countries can start to repair their markets, as well as England and Britain, understanding what their markets are going to be like if, say, Scotland leave, or if, say, some, I don't know, companies in Britain had large ties to trading in Europe, and now they don't know what to do because they've left Europe and they have all these other costs that are going to cost, and the downfall of the pound, especially immediately after Brexit, was very, very shocking, I'd say, to a lot of companies. So a lot of European countries probably pulled out from trading with people and stuff. So it kind of has a big effect on. It does have a big effect on Europe. Now the issue that we're more worried about in Europe, because I'm from Ireland, so that means that I'm part of the European Union at the moment. But an issue Ireland has is Britain are the closest country to us, so that means that a lot of our trading routes used to go through Britain, and a lot of our utilities are tied to Britain. So say electricity and stuff, we have big connector lines between Ireland and Britain for electricity and stuff. So there's other issues that are going to be in play specifically for Ireland, and it is very worrying to Europe and Ireland on what's going to happen. But the main issue, I think, is they need to sort out all the political reasons very fast, so other people, especially people who are living in Britain and are worried about what's going to happen to them, like people from other countries and stuff, because I know it was an argument about immigration mostly, why it got passed and stuff. They really should lay out what's going to happen, and give them some time to sort out their plans. Are they going to leave, or do they have to apply for something else to stay? That kind of stuff, and give them enough time to sort it out, because this has turned a lot of people's lives up, and it was very scary to hear that it was passed for Ireland, because obviously they're the closest country and we're kind of worried about it too. Says them. Obviously, being a part of Ireland, Northern Ireland are also going to have a big effect on us, because Northern Ireland, there was open borders between us while they were in the EU, and they fought really, really hard, I think, for trying to fix the border issues in the north a long, long time ago. But now there's people on about trying to join the two countries back together, the Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, and I don't really mind what they do, but I think for the sake of both Northern Ireland and Scotland sorting out what they're doing with England, they need to address that very fast before things get boiled out of hand. Or even if they do it slow, I think it'll simmer out and then they won't want to leave. But then the next time something like this comes around, it will bring up all the same issues again. So I think they need to come up with political issues first, and then worry about what's going to happen and stuff. Like set out some of what they expect to happen for people, because a lot of people are worried in Europe and in EU. And as for tree falls in the woods and nobody hears it, I don't even think anybody's going to know the tree fell in the woods, to be honest, unless they go check later on. Okay, and then D had a vlog, asked what was the vlog about and all this, and then she sent me this link about Dory. So Dory in Finding Nemo is the fish known as the regal tang, or the blue regal tang, I think it's called actually as well. But basically, the regal tang they're worried about the conservation of the regal tang now, because when Nemo came out, the clownfish sales kind of boomed in countries, and they had to start breeding clownfish in order to keep up with the stocks. So clownfish are bred in captivity, and the issue is regal tangs haven't been successfully bred in captivity. So what I say for this is there is a lot of other fish that have been captured and aren't really successfully captive bred, and people are worried about dory being endangered, but there is other species which are endangered, which are captured when they're endangered, or critically. Well, I don't think dory is endangered, but she's in risk of endangerment because of people wanting to buy her from the movie. So what I think is this is like the perfect opportunity for someone who lives in an area with a lot of regal tangs to go and catch as many as they can and start trying to breed them. Go talk to someone who has any kind of expertise in breeding fish and stuff, especially tropical warm water fish, and learn how you could try it, because if someone finds the key to breeding the regal tang, they're going to be in the money for the moment. And it's going to have to be a country where they can get their hands on regal tangs in the wild pretty easy, so they can get a large test base to start the breeding process. So yeah, some tropical country. But yeah, that's what I do to solve that issue. But yeah, it's kind of sad that the regal tangs might be in danger, but I think it's more, as time goes on, we're going to realize how bad it could be. I think it might be the shock, because from what happened from Nemo before, it might be why people are getting worried and stuff. But I think someone could definitely figure out how to breed dory if they set their mind to it. It's the same with any other species of fish. Say for seahorses and stuff. There was a lad in Ireland from Seahorse Ireland. He came up with the process of breeding seahorses in Ireland, and then in other countries they do it as well. So I think someone will probably figure out a pretty good way of breeding regal tangs in a couple of years, and whoever does it is going to be making a good bit of money. So that might be worth their while. Okay, so all the links to anything here, anything I can find on these things, will be in the description. So on how to put fig in a fig roll, so I'll probably just find the recipe again. Do lions live in jungles? I'll find some kind of video that describes it. And if a tree falls in the woods, so I'll just find something Brexit, and a vlog about, oh yeah, the aquatic stuff on Dory. So I'll just give you the article that's on screen now. So yeah, so that's that vlog. Thanks to all my friends for giving me some questions, and also if anybody would like to give me any more questions, feel free to in the comments. For the next ones, I don't think I'm going to bother my friends again unless they want to send me a specific question on anything. I'll figure it out for you if I don't know it. But if anybody wants to send me some, you can send me some. And if not, I'm just going to come up with some random story to tell you or whatever in the next one. Okay, so see you in the next one. Bye.